They say a mirror shows only what's in front of it, but what if it reveals something more? Something you were never meant to see? A single candle flickered in the room, its dim light barely reaching the edges of the shadows. Lily's hand trembled as she brushed away the dust from an ornate mirror's surface. The glass cleared slowly, but something wasn't right. Her reflection stared back, but her lips curled into a faint smirk, though Lily herself was frozen in fear. Her breath caught in her throat, and then the room fell silent. What would you do if the past started staring back at you? Borrow me a like if you're intrigued, and drop your theories below. Lily stepped out of the car, staring up at the decaying mansion that loomed in front of her. A dense mist clung to the overgrown trees, muffling the sound of her hesitant footsteps as she approached the iron gate. It creaked loudly as she pushed it open, sending a shiver down her spine. This was her inheritance, a crumbling estate left to her by a distant relative she barely remembered. She hadn't wanted it, not really, but after her last art exhibit had failed, the idea of solitude in the countryside had been strangely appealing. Inside, the mansion was worse than she'd imagined. Dust coated everything. Cobwebs hung from the chandelier, and the faint smell of mildew seeped from the peeling wallpaper. Still, there was a strange charm to it, a faded grandeur that felt like stepping into a painting from another era. Exploring the attic one afternoon, she stumbled upon a veiled object in the corner. Pulling back the tattered sheet, revealed an ornate mirror, framed in intricate gold carvings. The frame was cracked in places, and its surface was marred by years of neglect. It was beautiful, haunting even. Lily's fingers brushed against the frame, and she felt a faint chill, a momentary shiver she couldn't explain. But the mirror was perfect for her studio. She imagined it inspiring her next piece, a bold new start. At first, it seemed like any other antique to her, just another relic from a forgotten past. It was beautiful, yes, but no different from the countless trinkets scattered throughout the estate. She thought nothing of it as she carried it downstairs to her studio, but she was wrong about it. The first time it happened, Lily was sketching in front of the mirror. The soft, golden glow of a single lamp bathed the room, and the scratching of her pencil was the only sound. She glanced up at the mirror absent-mindedly and froze. Her reflection didn't match her movements. Not much, just a slight delay. She raised her hand, and her reflection followed. A heartbeat too late. A chill ran down her spine. She leaned closer, staring into her own eyes in the glass, willing herself to find an explanation. Maybe it was her exhaustion. She'd been pushing herself too hard. That had to be it. But the next day, the mirror showed her something impossible. A young girl ran across the overgrown garden outside the mansion. She wore Lily's face, but looked no older than 10. Lily dropped her pencil, the sharp sound breaking the eerie silence in the room. The vision vanished in an instant, leaving only her own wide-eyed reflection staring back. Her heart pounded. She whispered to herself,
"This isn't real. It can't be."
But it didn't stop. A family argument unfolded in silent, flickering images, their gestures sharp, their faces contorted with anger. Lily's pulse quickened as she pressed her palms to the mirror, desperate to understand what she was seeing. And then it was gone again, as quickly as it had appeared. That night, the whispers began. A voice, faint but insistent, echoed in her dreams.
Find the truth.
She woke in a cold sweat, clutching the sheets as if they could protect her. Her mind raced, trying to convince herself it was just her imagination. But deep down, she knew something was very, very wrong. The next day, she followed the whispers to the attic. Under the floorboards where the mirror had been, she found an old diary, written by her great-aunt Eleanor. Her hands trembled as she opened it, the smell of aged paper wafting through the air. The handwriting inside was spidery and rushed, as if the writer had been in a panic. The diary revealed a chilling story. Eleanor had become obsessed with the mirror, convinced it held secrets about their family's past. She wrote of strange visions, of betrayal, of a missing child, and of a darkness that seemed to emanate from the mirror itself. One entry caught Lily's breath.
I see her now, in the glass, watching me, waiting. She looks just like me, but she isn't.
Lily's chest tightened. She remembered the whispers her mother used to tell, in hushed tones, about Eleanor, who had vanished without a trace. And now, here in the diary, the entries hinted at Eleanor's growing paranoia, her belief that the mirror was alive. Eleanor's final words were scrawled in jagged lines.
If you find this, leave the mirror. Take the key and go. You don't want to know.
The reflection in the mirror began to change. Lines appeared on Lily's face, deepening until she looked as old as the great-aunt she had never met. Her lips moved silently, but she heard the words clearly.
Leave before it's too late.
Terrified, Lily decided to destroy the mirror. She grabbed a hammer, her hands trembling as she raised it high, but her reflection stared back, shaking its head.
You can't escape the truth,
it whispered. Tears streamed down her face as she lowered the hammer. Instead of destroying the mirror, she wrapped it in the old sheet and locked it back in the attic. She turned the key, leaving the room behind. But as she walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that it was still watching her. In the attic, the mirror glowed faintly. In its surface, Lily's reflection smiled, a smile she wasn't wearing. What secrets would you face if you dared to look? Like, comment, and subscribe to unlock more mysteries.